What's up, guys? Mower Medic 1 here, and today's video is going to be on these. I got a couple of Cub Cadet riding mowers, and they both have Kohler engines on them. One of them is the Kohler Courage V-Twin, and this one is also a Kohler, but it's the 7000 series. This one, the motor's blowed up. Both pistons move, but there is no compression, like Terrell Fixes All says, compression on one of the cylinders. This one is just a runnability issue. It will crank on choke only, but then it dies with the choke on. So from all the moss and the mold, check that out. I guarantee you that fuel line is just rotten. You can't even see in that fuel filter. It's got a full tank of gas in it. Just give it a sniff. Smells pretty new. But check this out over here. What you doing, old cowboy? There ain't a drop of oil on that dipstick. However, I think we're going to focus on this riding mower today. I think it's just going to be a fuel issue, hoping that we don't have to drain the gas tank, because that gas tank on this particular one is an absolute pain in the butt to get out of there compared to this one. Check that out, how easy that one is to work on. That gas tank will come right out of there. This one is buried underneath fenders and seats and all kinds of mumbo jumbo. Hopefully we don't have a tank full of water. Well, let's get this thing up in the air and see what we can do and make this thing crank and run. With the choke pulled all the way out, that's all we're getting right there. Runs and dies on choke. I've done these carburetors a million times, but I guess I'll do 1,000,001 today. Man, this thing's in pretty rough shape, boy, with this deck all the way up. Not even attempting to lift up the front of the mower or the deck at all. This thing has been used for a battering ram or a bulldozer rather than a finish mower. So the very first thing that I want to check is that fuel shutoff solenoid. I want to see if it's sticking or stuck. And while I've got the bowl off, I want to check and make sure that the float ain't stuck itself. So let's go ahead. We're going to have to pull this top off. Air filter's got to come off, come out, pull the shroud off, and once I get all that pulled off of there, we'll get down to the meat and potatoes of this repair. Here might be a good reason that the deck will go up and down. Completely missing the pin that holds the front strut. Get that sorted out. A lot of times, if I don't have a pin, I'll just put a bolt in there and double nut it. I want to go ahead and loosen this. You don't have to take it, well, yeah, you do have to take it completely off, but the fuel pump. And just let it kind of just flop there. You don't want to break the impulse line right here for sure. There's going to be an array of 5/16 or 8mm screws that go all the way around this housing. Just need to go ahead and take all those screws out. A big old head in the way. Oop, I dropped that one. I heard it hit the ground, so that's good. I need to get a short socket. There's a couple of 10mm right in the front up here, right there, you can see them. Let me get those. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to get my, can't get a ratchet in there. Get my ratchet wrenches. They're just plastite screws. They're not going to be tight. You don't want to over torque this screw either. It'll just pull the threads right out. So to get this air horn off, there's going to be a couple screws right here in front. And they are a 10mm, so let's go ahead and buzz those two screws out of there. It'll get the air horn off so we can see what's going on. You'll need you a 10mm with a little extension. If it'll come past this plate right here. Yes. Look at there. I don't know if I did that, but I don't think I did. I'll have to rewatch the video, but I think somebody didn't put that gasket on right. This thing is pretty nasty. Guys, if you can take your finger and wipe that fuel line and black comes off, that fuel line is rotten and it needs to be replaced. So this thing definitely needs all the fuel lines replaced, and the carburetor needs to be cleaned. I want to get this out of here. We're gonna have to take this screw out right here. It is a JIS screw. Hold on just a second. Let me get me a JIS screwdriver. These are always in there so flippin' tight. Golly, that's all I got. I'm gonna have to use my impact on it. All right, so I've got me a impacting screwdriver bit here with a JIS tip. If this don't work, I'm not opposed to cutting the head of that screw off with my grinding disc and just getting a new screw. But we're gonna try this, and if this don't work, I've already tried to tap it with my hammer. No luck. I'm hoping a little bit of rattle action and downward pressure will get this out. Nope, it's already camming out. It's already cammed out. No matter what you do, sometimes it turns into a basket of worms in a heartbeat. Before I condemn this screw completely, I've got one of these broken screw extractors, or rounded off bolt extractors. I'm gonna hammer that down on there and see if that will work. Maybe. The rounded off bolt head extractor was a no-go, but I'm able to get a pair of vice grips clapped down on there. I'm gonna be ginger and see if it will break free. Nope, dadgum. I'm gonna try it one more time. Nope. Alrighty guys, it's time to quit fooling around and get medieval. I'm going to cut a cross in the head of that screw for a flat blade screwdriver. Safety squints. Be better on the other side. All right, this has got to work. I just cut me a slit for a flat screwdriver. Oh, relief. And I can save the screw too. All right, we got that off, but we got a few more things we need to take care of before we can slide this carb off. Now I hate this little old doohickey right here. I don't know if we can see it very good. It is a little plastic keeper that holds the throttle cable or the throttle rod in place. You see that? We're gonna have to cam that off of that cable, off of that rod there. I gotta get in there better for you guys, because this is ridiculous. If you don't take this little guy off right here, you'll never get this carburetor off of here. Here we go. See how that worked? It just uncams from the throttle rod. Sorry for the shakiness. Whatever you do though, don't drop that black little piece, because it'll never work right without it. Now we can just pull this rod right up out of the center of that black piece, that rod stay. 9 times out of 10 it's going to fall out on you, which is trying to fall out on me right now. Let's go ahead and take it out of there. This is a pain in the butt. Do not lose this. That throttle rod goes right through that center hole, and then you clip that onto the rod. Get your surge spring out of the hole here. And we should be able to slide this carburetor off enough, and then we can cam the choke cable or the choke rod out of there. Carefully. We need to unhook the solenoid. There we go. up, and it should come free right there. Now, that carburetor is out of there except for the fuel line. Let's just go ahead and get that taken off while we're here. Pretty nasty. I think what I'm going to do though is go ahead and get these 4 screws out of the carburetor bowl, and let's pop that bowl off. Let me get this thing cleaned up good first though. Always clean the outside of your carburetor before you take it apart. I just popped one of the screws out. Guys, if this screw is any indication of what the inside of this carburetor is going to look like, ooh-wee. Look at the corrosion. Guys, I had to drill the heads of these screws off. Wasn't gonna come out. They are just rusted in there. Let's go ahead and get this bowl off of here and see what this thing looks like. Oh my God. How is that even running? The bowl is just full of water. And that old aluminum calcification. Old cowboy wants to come in here. You can hear him whining. Holy crap. Oh my goodness. This screw right here, or is it right here, would not come. It's completely rusted into the carb body. But if you'll take a drill bit and knock the heads of that, dang, I'm getting it all over me. It's just white powder everywhere. Man, that old carburetor, man, it's in pretty rough shape. If this was my mower and my money, excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Whew. If this was my mower and my money, I would probably try to clean that carburetor. But since this is a new customer and I don't want any comebacks, I don't want anything, you know, he said, she said, oh, he didn't clean my carburetor very good or whatever, I'm gonna quote him for a new one on this one. That's gonna be an expensive carburetor. That gas tank must be full of water. So, with that being said, that's the one out yonder that's gonna have to, the whole fenders are gonna have to come off so I can get to the gas tank. It's, I can do it. It's gonna cost you a couple hours labor, an hour labor minimum, just to get all the water out of the tank. They don't build them like they used to. But anyway, hey, I know this content helped you out, and if it did, give me a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. While you're there doing that, go ahead and click that bell so that you get all of my new uploads. Y'all have a good rest of your week. More Medic One.